blanks here. So yesterday you guys did a fantastic job. We worked to get our variable alone, had to pay attention to plus and minus signs or if you were multiplying. So today we're going to see fraction coefficients. That first blank is the word fraction. So now the number in front of our variable is going to be a fraction today. And I know that instantly makes people panic. Okay? But we still have to think about inverse or opposite. So to undo multiplication, we are going to divide. Now, here's the tricky part. Okay? Here's the tricky part. In order to divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal. And this word reciprocal, people are like, I don't know what that means. All it means is flip the fraction. Perfect. I was just going to say that. Keep, change, flip. Okay? Keep, change, flip. One of the questions Ms. Hoff's going to ask over and over today is, what is the coefficient? And the coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So be ready when I ask you that. Okay? Flip, F-L-I-P. Flip it. F-L-I-P. Okay, so we go to number 1. Draw your line through your equal sign. Bryce, I'm going to start with you right away, okay? What is my coefficient? And I remind you, the coefficient is the number in front of the variable. 3/4. Very good. 3/4. He's 100% correct. The number in front of the variable is 3/4. And we just said, if it's a fraction, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. And keep, change, flip. Tegan, if I flip 3/4, what do I have? 4/3. So that means we need to multiply by 4/3 on both sides. Bryce told us the coefficient. Tegan flipped it for us. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Okay? Well, just keep going. Just write down what Ms. Hoff does, and I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. Okay, on the side with the variable, we get to be cross-happy. Because the 4s are diagonal, they cancel. And the 3s are diagonal, they cancel. All we have over there now is 1C. That's super nice. Absolutely. On the right-hand side now, if we're going to multiply with the fraction, we need to make 18 a fraction. Bryce? Very good. Put a 1 underneath it. Okay, now, Tone is going to answer this question for me, so listen carefully. We always want to try to simplify if we can. So when we look at our numbers, nobody else answer. When we look at our numbers, is there any number in the top and a number in the bottom that I can simplify?
Yeah, we can simplify 18, we can't simplify the 1.
Okay, what can you simplify 18 with?
4 or 6.
No, 4 does not stop.
3.
And 3 goes in there how many times? 6 times, okay? And the nice thing is there's a 3 in the denominator. See that? So what we can do here is we can say, well, 3 goes into 3 one time, and 3 goes into 18, he just told me, 6 times. Okay, so now I'm going to Sarah. Now that we have simplified, we are going to multiply across. Nobody else say anything. Sarah's got this. I believe in her. Sarah, 6 times 4 is? You can 100% use your calculator if you want to. 24. Nicely done. And the denominator, 1 times 1. 1. Now, what is everybody 24 divided by 1? 24. And then you're done. Because you have a 1C, you are done. Good, I'm glad to hear that. One of the biggest things is if we're able to see to reduce, like Tone helped us reduce, it makes our numbers smaller. 2s and 3s and 5s. That's what you're looking for to divide out. You're always looking one of the numbers on the bottom to cancel with the number on the top. Okay, let's go down here. Got it, A. We're going to do the same thing. Draw a line through the equal sign. Yep, got it, A. All right, Petro. Your question is, I need to identify my coefficient. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable. In this problem, what number is in front of my variable? 1/5. Nicely done. Courtney, to get rid of that coefficient, I have to multiply by the reciprocal, which means I need to flip it. When I flip it, what do I get? Very good. So I'm going to multiply by 5/1. And everybody, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So we go 5/1 over here. This is where Miss Hoff gets cross-happy. Remember, we get excited about this one. On the side with the variable, the 5s are diagonal, so they cancel. And the 1s are already a 1. So all I have is 1x. What's that? Well, they're already 1s, so I don't usually cross them off just to make them 1s again. Oh, I forgot to write a 1 under there. I'm not over to the right side yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Okay? And I'm always skeptical to say your name wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong. Yongkong. Okay? On the right-hand side, I need to multiply. I automatically need to put 12/1. Is there anything where a number on the top can reduce with a number on the bottom, like Tone helped us on the last one? No. She's right, because these are 1s, right? Like, it's almost a trick question that I just asked you. Like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to be wrong here. When there's 1s on the bottom, we can't simplify anymore. Very good. I'm going to stick with you, okay? Feel free to use your calculator if you want to. 12 times 5. Nobody else, just Yongkong. 60. And on the bottom, 1 times 1. 1. Everybody, 60 divided by 1 is 60. Okay? You ready for a curveball? Just a little one. Just a little one. Okay? It's negative. You already spotted it. We're going to B. Zayden, I'm coming to you. Draw your line through your equal sign. First thing I always have to do is identify my coefficient. The coefficient's the number in front of the variable. On got it, B. What number's in front of the variable? Very good. -2/9. Okay, Brody, this makes kind of a trick question for you, but not really. Just be cautious. I need to multiply by the reciprocal, and the reciprocal says I need to flip that coefficient that Zayden just gave us. What am I going to multiply by? Nope. Flip what I highlighted there. 9/2. You know what the tricky part about this is? You got to keep the negative with it, okay? So we need to multiply by -9/2. And everybody, whatever we do to one side, you have to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply by 9/2. Okay, we got lots of practice. Miss Hoff gets cross-happy here. Her 9s cancel out and become 1s. Her 2s cancel out and become 1s. A negative times a negative is a positive. So I'm left with 1m.
1m.
Rejoice, I'm going to put a 1 under that 4. Okay, listen to me carefully. Is there any number in the top of these, either one of these fractions, that you can simplify with a 2? Stop. I'm done with you. You keep your comments and your laughter to yourself. I don't want to hear your voice unless I ask you. Is there a number in the numerator, Rejoice, that I can divide a 2 out because there's a 2 in the denominator? 4 or 9, can you divide by 2? 4 divided by 2 is what? 2, very good. Okay, so we're going to take our 4, and 2 divides into it 2 times. How many times does 2 go into 2? 1 time. All right, Miss Caitlin, the multiplying's up to you. 2 times -9. 2 times negative 9. Careful. Negative 18. 1 times 1. 1 times 1. 1. Everyone, negative 18 divided by 1. Negative 18. Don't lose your negative. Don't lose your negative. I want you to try to do C on your own. Okay? Try to do C on your own. I'll leave up A. I'll even put A and B up there. Try to do C on your own. Identify your coefficient. Don't panic because it's on the other side. That's okay. Flip it and multiply it on both sides. Make sure you're picking the number in front of the variable to flip it. Pick the number in front of the variable and flip it. Which one of these is in front of the variable? Okay, so flip it.
Where do you put the extra number?
Just put it right over here. Which number's in front of your variable?
Number?
Which one of these? Negative 24, negative 6 sevenths.
That one?
Okay, so flip it and multiply it over here.
7.
Over. The only thing is, don't lose your negative sign. Okay, whatever you do this side, gotta do on this side. Right, the same thing over here. Okay, I think most of us, let's get the first step up here just to make sure we gain a little confidence of what we're doing here. Jack Rice, what number is my coefficient? Remembering that's the number in front of the variable. Which number is in front of P?
-6.
Negative 6 sevenths. Sam, I want to multiply by the reciprocal or the flipped fraction. What am I going to multiply by? 7 6. The only thing is, don't lose your negative, right? Don't lose your negative. Everybody, whatever you do to one side, we have to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply by negative 7 6 over here. Yep. Miss Hoff gets cross happy here. 6's cancel and become 1s. 7's cancel and becomes 1s. A negative times a negative is a positive. It's okay that 1p is on the other side. That's fine. Okay? I'm going to put negative 24 over 1. Addison, is there a number in the numerator that you can cancel with a number in the denominator? Which ones? 6 and 24. 6 goes into 6 once and into 24. 4, just don't lose your negative, right? Okay. Marilyn, negative 7 times negative 4. Positive 28. Good job. Positive 28. And everybody, 1 times 1, 1. 28 divided by 1 is 28. 28. Okay. Okay. The next one, we all panic because we have mixed numbers. Miss Hoff hates mixed numbers. Hates them. Hates them. So we need to get rid of them as fast as we can. Well, that's how much I don't like them. We will never write an answer as a mixed number. Never, ever, ever. Okay. And in capitals. That's how important it is. So if we are going to change a mixed number into an improper fraction, remember, you multiply the big number by the denominator and we add. You multiply, then add. I'm going to show you one and then I'm going to ask for some help on the others. So when you have anything with a mixed number, the first thing you do is change it to be improper. So let's draw our line down here. Okay. 1.5 needs to get changed. So right away, I take my whole number times my denominator. 1 times 2 is 2. And then I need to add 1. 3. What's my denominator? 2. It stays what it was before. It stays what it was before. And then I put my x on there. Okay? So if we go to the other side, take your whole number, 16 times 2, which is 32, and then add 1, 33. What's my denominator? 2. Now, this problem's just like what we were doing up above. Okay? It is just like we did up above. Petro, I want you to identify for me the coefficient. Remember, the coefficient is the number in front of the variable. What number is in front of our variable? 3/2. Nicely done. And to get rid of that, Caitlin, I need to flip it. 3/2 is going to become 2/3. Everyone, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. Miss Hoff takes the side with the letter because she likes to get cross-happy. 2's cross out become 1's. 3's cross out become 1's. I'm left with 1x. Here's what Miss Hoff's going to tell you. Look at the number on the bottom. I have a 2. Is there any number on top that could cancel with a 2?
No.
Yeah, the other 2. And what are those 2's going to become? 1's. But now we have to check. This 3, can 3 go into 33? How many times? 11 times. So this one's going to become an 11, and your 3 is going to become a 1. So always just take the numbers on the bottom and see if they'll reduce the numbers on top. Then we multiply. 11 times 1. 11. 1 times 1. 1. 11 divided by 1 is 11. Okay. Flip the page. Turn the page. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Okay. All right. Everybody listen to what I'm about to ask you to do. Right now, I want you to change 4 and 1/6 to be an improper on your own. Multiply, then add. Like how we changed 1.5 to 3/2. Multiply, then add, and tell me what your fraction is. Don't say it out loud, just write it down. All right, so we take, everybody, 4 times 6, and we get 24 plus 1, 25. Nope, don't flip it. Don't flip it. 25/6. When you're changing it, don't flip it. Okay? On the right-hand side, 3 times 3 plus 1. 10/3. Don't flip it. Don't flip it.
Why not?
Okay, put the C with it. Now drag your C down.
Drag your C down.
All right, Sam, I'm coming to you. I need to identify my coefficient. That's the number in front of the variable. What number is in front of my variable on this one? Is that in front of your variable? 10 over 3. 10 thirds is in front of your variable. Liana, now that I know what my coefficient is, 10 over 3, I need to flip that and multiply it on both sides. So if I'm going to flip 10 over 3, what would I get? Just flip your fraction upside down. Instead of 10 being on top and 3 being on bottom, what would you have? Perfect. 3/10 is 100%. Okay, so we are going to show that we're going to multiply by 3 over 10 on the right. And everybody, whatever you do to one side, we have to do to the other side. 3 over 10. But you can't flip it when you're changing it. You'll get it wrong. Okay, Miss Hoff starts on the side with the letter. The 3's become 1's. The 10's become 1's. I'm down to 1C. Somebody raise your hand and tell me if there's anything I can simplify on that left-hand side. Courtney? Okay, so let's start with 3 and 6. 3 would become a 1, and 6 would become a 2. Somebody tell me how I could reduce 10 and 25. She already told me it can, so we need to reduce them. Marilyn? We could divide a 5 out. Now listen carefully. 10 divided by 5 would be 2. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Okay. Now we multiply. Everybody. 1 times 5. 5. 2 times 2. 4. Now, I don't want to make this a mixed number. Leave it improper. Leave it improper. That's your final answer. That's your final answer. Okay, we're going to do another one. Ready? Ready? E right in the middle. Draw your line through the equal sign. Mistake that people make, they automatically panic with that negative. Who cares about the negative? I'm just going to bring it straight down because I know my fraction is going to be negative. Ignore the negative. 9 times 8. 72. Plus 5. 77. Over 8. Don't forget your W. Miss Hoff almost did. Now, 108 is already a whole number. It's not even a fraction even, so we'll just drag down 108. Price? What is your coefficient on this one? The number in front of the variable. Very good. Don't lose your negative though, right? Now, I need to flip it. Rejoice. If I flip this fraction, negative 77 over 8, what do I end up with? Very good. What is Miss Hoff going to remind you though? Don't lose your negative. And everybody, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Get cross happy with the W's. My 8's cancel and become 1's. My 77's cancel and become 1's. A negative times a negative is a positive. So I have 1W. Jack's worried about making sure I get my 108 over 1. Now, this one, you look at this and you're like, oh my gosh, these are nasty numbers, Miss Hoff. Anything that can go into 77, what number could you divide out of 77? 7 or 11. Okay? Somebody take 108 and see if I can divide 7 out. Well, I know I can divide 7 out, but is it a whole number? No? Okay, clear your calculator. Take 108, divide it by 11. Is it a whole number?
No.
So guess what? We can't even reduce this. We're just going to end up with really big numbers. Take your calculator. 108 times -8. Anybody else get -864?
Yeah.
Good. 1 times 77. 77. And that is your answer. It's nasty, but it's right. You're fine. Okay. One step at a time. Everybody on your own. I want you to change your mixed numbers to improper fractions. Do just the first step. Change 1 7/8 to be improper. Change 4 1/2 to be improper. Then we'll come back and go to the next step together. Multiply and add. Multiply and add. Don't flip anything. Just multiply and add. Multiply and add. Okay, so write your new one down. Because you don't know if you're flipping the right one. Well, they're probably stop. If we didn't have to hear your voice all the time, he wouldn't make a comment. Not appropriate. I don't need your help.
Will we do this one and this one for the for the multiplication?
Yep.
Oh, so it doesn't have to be the one without the variable?
We do it to both of them. We do it to both of them. Okay. 1 times 8 is 8 plus 7. 15 over 8y. You don't need your 1 because you just multiplied that. 4 times 2. 8 plus 1. 9 over 2. We changed 1 7/8 to be 15 over 8, so you don't need that 1 anymore. Otherwise, you have a different number. Okay. What's your coefficient on this one? 15 over 8. So we got to flip it. When I flip it, I get 8 over 15. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Miss Hoff loves the side with the variable because she gets to be cross out happy. Everybody on your own, see if you can simplify over here. I'll help you in just a minute. See if there's any numbers you can divide out. See if there's any numbers you can divide out. Think about 2s, 3s, 5s. Anything that you can. If there's more than one, absolutely. If there's more than one, you have a question? What number did you divide out of this one? 3? 15 divided by 3 is 5. Make sure you make that a 5, not a 3. But everything you have so far is right. All right, somebody raise their hand and tell me one thing you know you can simplify. Petro. What number can divide out of those? 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Somebody else raise your hand and tell me what you can divide out, Zayden. Okay, what are you going to divide out? 2. So a 2 divided by 2 is, and 8 divided by 2 is, anybody else have anything else you want to divide out? Okay, so everybody, let's multiply across. 3 times 4, 12. 1 times 5, leave it as an improper fraction. Always. Miss Hoff hates mixed numbers. The favorite part of your day, cross off the rest of the page. Yes way. Okay. Here's your homework. Here's your homework. Now, everybody glance at these. Look at number 1. Looks like something we have already done, yes? Okay. Look at number 5. Panic! Oh my gosh, we never did anything like number 5. Draw a line through the equal sign. What is my coefficient? Think before you raise your hand here. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable. Tone, what number is in front of 0.4? How do I get rid of 0.4 when it's right next to the x? Courtney? Technically, you are right, but we don't even have to change that to a decimal. When a number, or to a fraction, when a number is right next to a letter, what's happening right here? It's multiplying. And remember, everything is about undoing it. How do I undo multiplication? Divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by 0.4. You're going to love these ones. They're so easy. The decimal ones are so easy. 0.72 divided by 0.4. 0.72 divided by 0.4. 1.8. Anybody else get 1.8? Done. When it's the decimal ones, they're so easy. So easy. Okay? You have to do problems 1 through 10. Cross off 11 and 12. Cross off 11 and 12. Sure, you're not going to know how to do them, but that's fine. Yep. Yep, 11 and 12 cross off. We still have 10 minutes to work. She's one to write these.